Let's make some picks for this weekend, shall we? I think we shall. Yes. Hey guys, how are you? I was asking.
Yeah, missed my tough.
Yeah, I was just asking. Were you on break or?
Yeah, long show. Had to stop by the old bathroom.
No, I understand.
Read the question in advance. Thought it was going to be okay for me to go.
I mean, I think it was like a tough related question, was it not? Or did I go off script?
You guys went off script. I was running through the halls trying to go quickly in my tough jersey. Got a couple compliments on it. People were like, "Oh, sick jersey, man. Tough start, 0-3."
What happens? Like when you come back in the room, who's the one who tells you?
This time it was Frank.
Frank?
Yeah, he's just like, they had a tough question. I was like, wow, why'd they ask that? I thought they were talking about UFC 300, dream fights. I guess a dream fight was...
I don't even remember how tough came up.
It was about Connor.
Well, it was about Connor. Yeah, not a big stretch to go from Connor to tough talk, to be honest.
Well, I'm here now. Tough last night was fantastic, as it always is every week. The biggest development is the dog curse has moved from suspicion to it's a real living, breathing thing right now.
What's the dog curse? Like underdog?
No. No odds for tough, but when a fighter has their dog in their little intro video, like this is my family, this is where I'm from, they are 0-3 so far on tough. And I mean, as soon as I saw Aaron McKenzie's dog last night, I knew his fate was sealed.
Who's keeping track of this?
Tough Hang, the great people at Tough Hang. We have statisticians on board in the back.
Can I ask you a serious question right now?
Yeah.
And somebody say this is a question you ask off air, but that's not the way we do things. At any point, are you like, you know what? I shouldn't have agreed to do this Tough Hang show. This show isn't what I thought it was going to be. Come on. The buzz has worn off, right? It went from like my whole timeline talking about it to be like, oh, is it Tuesday?
The thought has creeped into my mind, but we're not there yet because it's like, all right. So yesterday morning, watched Tough, and it's like as soon as the theme song hits, as soon as the starting hits, I'm like, I remember why I did this. I remember why I set out on this journey, and I'm enjoying it. I mean, we're getting to know the characters. Next week, Timur Valiev back in the octagon.
Oh yeah,
excited for that. Trevor Wells feels like they've sorted out the cold sore that he had, and we'll be ready to roll.
Is there any fear that Connor goes winless?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, I've looked up Valiev's opponent next week, Trevor Wells. I obviously don't know what's going to happen, but I would imagine if they were fighting in the UFC, I mean, Valiev, 18-3, has fought some of the best in the world, going against 8-3 and Trevor Wells. I feel like he would be a pretty sizable favorite. Obviously, we'll have to see next week, but yeah, I mean, if Valiev wins next week, I mean, we're halfway down, and Chandler is already 4-0. People are claiming T-shirt curse is evolving into the tough jersey curse. I think it's more the dog curse. I think it's the dogs that are ruining this for Team McGregor.
Man, that would be a blow. That would be a bit of a blow to the ego, right? If he goes winless.
He goes 0-8.
Am I the only one who feels like Chandler is getting a little bit nervous that this fight isn't going to happen? Is that I'm getting that vibe.
What are these rumors that I was seeing?
What rumors?
These rumors about like him potentially not being able to get in the USADA pool and the fight just not happening, period.
Oh, I didn't see that. I don't know.
I mean, it's obviously just rumors, on Twitter, but this whole USADA thing is getting dicey. I don't know.
Anyway. Yeah.
I think some people are just doing the math, right? And getting a little ahead of themselves, but doing the math.
All right. Yeah, and ultimately, who knows about this math? Anyway, yeah. What were you going to say?
Yeah, that was the other thing I was going to say. Was like, it's at the UFC's discretion to sometimes change that.
Right.
So we'll see.
By the way, I was talking about sensitive fans. Can I add Vegas Golden Knights fans to that list? I mean, I tweeted something about their parade yesterday. Jesus Christ. First of all, I didn't know that there were any real Vegas Golden Knights fans. And I love Vegas. I kind of consider Vegas like a bit of a second home. I was in Vegas for Tank and Garcia during the first round of their playoff series against the Winnipeg Jets. And I tweeted a picture. I went for a walk on the strip, beautiful night. I walked to T-Mobile. I took a picture to hardcore, die-hard, lifelong Vegas Golden Knights fan Danny Rubenstein, who goes on and on about them on social media. I'm in the plaza, the Toshiba Plaza in front of the T-Mobile, and they're playing the game. You know the shots that they were showing last night of all the fans? They're playing the game on a big screen. I kid you not, there might have been 12 people, including me, watching. I was like, this is your hardcore fan base? There's 12 people watching a playoff game, first round against the Jets. You guys are a top seed. This is your fan base? And he's like, I mean, come on.
First round.
Relax.
Wait, but so where is this coming from, the sensitivity? Like, what happened to you that is causing you to point this out is what I'm not understanding.
Oh, so I was watching, and it became clear that the Golden Knights were going to win the Stanley Cup. And so I was just throwing it out there. I was like, okay, where is this parade going to happen? Because, you know, the Strip is a bit of a mess. You've been there. You know, like the traffic is insane. Obviously, you can...
It'd be a logistic nightmare.
You have all these tourists there. And I was just wondering, if you're a hardcore Vegas fan, which I presume you don't live on the Strip if you're a hardcore Vegas fan, you're a local, you're a Summerlin native, you're a Henderson native, etc. Do you want it to be in the tourist area? Do you want it to be in Times Square, or do you want it to be where they practice in the burbs? Do you want it to be, because it's a team of the people, it's a team of the community. It was the first pro team. It has brought the community together. I was just wondering. I was like, oh, yeah. Why would you say that? Oh, that's so fucking stupid. And I'm like, geez, chill the F out. I'm just asking. I mean, I'm still getting comments from this. Like, so don't dare you disrespect us. I'm like, whoa, chill out. I was just wondering where the parade would be.
Did anybody have a clear answer?
No, they just said, well, what was interesting was, of course, it would be the Strip. But then I had other smart, like, relaxed people who are like, actually, the Strip is kind of under construction for the F1 race later this year. So maybe it won't even be. Maybe it'll be like Fremont Street, like old Vegas, you know, which I think is actually kind of cool because that's like throwback stuff. Or maybe they figure it out. And then they were bringing up the Aces parade. But I mean, with all due respect, I don't think that will be as big. And also, the Strip wasn't under construction when the Aces won of the WNBA. I was just asking a question. I wasn't hypothesizing that the Strip, you know, was... I actually love Vegas, and I've been to a Golden Knights game with our friend Shaheen Al-Shadi, colleague here, and it was a great time. I know they have a passionate fan base, and I'm not one of these people who was jealous because they were they're 6 years old and they finally got a championship, and some people, like, you know, have been waiting 50, 60 years for their team. Shout out to Leafs fans. But the sensitivity in the comments and the rudeness really took me aback.
The fourth wall.
Yeah.
Like, you asked us this after the show on Monday, and you weren't being facetious. You were like, "What do you think they would do it?"
Yeah.
Because we were talking like it looks like they're going to win.
Yes.
So, Twitter is being a little extra.
I mean, how dare you? How dare you? Honestly,
is Twitter more extra?
Well, it looks like some people pointed out that the Vegas Aces.
Yes.
The actual first professional team to bring a championship.
I just said that. You weren't listening because you were looking it up, but I just said this.
I will say, though,
on the Strip.
Yes, that's a much smaller deal. And
I'm actually in the tweet right now. I'm just looking at all
as
the
I noted,
responses.
I don't think the Strip was under construction when they won last year.
Yes, but the fact that F1 chose to do the race there and is utilizing the Strip then tells me that they could have also prepared for a parade, which tells me, like, yeah, how dare you for even questioning whether they do it on the Strip. They deserve it on the Strip. I mean,
Las Vegas locally.
Open and closed.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody disses Summerlin and gets away with it. You hit Las Vegas.
I hit him
locally.
with the bro. I hit him with the bro.
Chill, bro.
Yeah.
You hit just like an unknown account. Chill, bro.
No, because I saw him retweet it, and then I got these other fucking Vegas
wait. He responded to you and then retweeted it?
No. He retweeted me so that the minions could come after me, and then he responded to try to flex. He doesn't even follow me.
This is me giving props to the Burbs who knew the Knights were so sensitive.
Yeah, that's right.
Now I honestly don't understand what the problem is. I don't understand why wondering where it's going to be is a huge slap in the face. I really don't get it. Yeah, I'm very confused.
JT Goodman, a local, chimed in and says, as a local, we adjust to things being Strip-centric, especially since T-Mobile is on the Strip. However, would be cool to see something at downtown Summerlin where the practice facility is.
Yeah, I think that would be kind of cool.
Why not? I don't understand.
I get the visual, though. The visual will be really cool. I don't know if they probably have announced where it's happening. I don't know, but the visual of them on the Strip is probably going to be something that they're going to want to do, and it will be publicized, and it's great for hockey. I have no problems with any of this. I mean, 15
the Aces
players.
Hive, it looks like really came after you.
Oh yeah, they were very upset.
Yeah,
By the way, Aces are older than the Knights. I don't know about that. I think the Knights were first.
No, first championship.
Oh, first championship, but first pro team, definitely the Knights.
I will say the Aces and the Knights are much cooler because they're like OG, whereas the Raiders just came and the A's are just going to come.
Yeah.
Like the Aces and the Knights were kind of
No. And I would say the Knights are even cooler because they're not a team that relocated. They're a legit expansion team. The others are all relocations.
No love for the Aces, huh?
Well, I'm just saying they're not.
With that diehard about our New York Liberty.
That's right.
The big rivals this year.
Oh yeah. I think didn't the Aces come from Detroit? Am I right about that? Were they the Detroit Shock? I mean, I'm big on WNBA. I interviewed Sue Bird recently. I don't know if you knew about that.
Yeah, sounds like it. You don't even know where the Aces relocated from.
That's right.
It looks like they were the Stars, and then the Utah Stars, and then the San Antonio Silver Stars.
All right, close enough.
Shock is kind of in there.
By the way, while we're just off the MMA topic, could we just talk about how great Nikola Jokic was in the post-fight celebration? He truly is the post-game. Sorry, he truly is the Fyodor Emelianenko of basketball. Yeah. Like, they're all going crazy. Sure. They've won their first championship, and they go to him, going down the line, shaking everyone's hand, not smiling, and even going after, like, the bench warmer and being like, yo, bro, like, let me give you a little fist bump here. I've never seen anything like it. And then, of course, the Lisa Salters interview where he's like, the job is done, we could go home. And then the press conference where he's like, oh, I want to go home. And then they tell me he has to stick around till Thursday. And he seems legit annoyed that he can't go home before Thursday. It's amazing.
The champagne bottle.
Yeah, he's like.
Yeah, just weak. He just doesn't care. He just starts sipping it.
I'm going to zig a little bit.
You hated it.
I love all this stuff. No, I don't hate it. I love it. But I do think he's in on it more than people are kind of like,
really?
to accept. Yeah, he's too smart a guy. He knows what's going on here. He's not. It's not just like
I don't know
affable,
if that's true.
Doesn't get it. Yeah, see, you're one of those people. He's too sharp.
Okay,
he's in on it.
You think pessimism on Rick just
not pessimistic. I love it.
I love it. The post game press conference, maybe, but him going down the line.
You think he hasn't gotten enough feedback on the idea of like, wow, you're so aloof and you don't care, and only thing you care about is basketball. You think he hasn't heard or seen that enough to recognize, okay, people are responding to this. I am going to continue to do this.
I don't know. Okay, but fair. But him going down the line and shaking everyone's hand just speaks to the type of person he is and competitor.
There is no part of me that believes that he would not rather be with his horses, would not rather be competing in basketball, wants to shake the last guy's hand, is the ultimate competitor, doesn't really care about the theatrics of it. But I also think he's aware that the people are attaching themselves to how aloof he's being and playing into it.
I don't know. Winning your first championship, like it feels like if you were ever going to show the emotion, I feel like that's when it would be.
He was holding his daughter. He's kissing the brothers. He was showing emotion. Man. It just wasn't. He's not the rah-rah. He's not Kevin Garnett.
That's him.
He's
I feel like that's just who he is.
Anything is possible.
It was so
for
good.
Sure it
is.
It's
just who he is.
It was so good. I love it.
For sure it is who he is.
The pre-series interview where they're just like, if you win, are you going to buy another horse? He's like, I mean, honestly, if we lose, I'll probably just buy another horse. Yeah.
He's great. By the way,
he is great.
What is going on with Yoel Romero? Why didn't he show up? Do we have? Can we talk about this for a second?
The official explanation is afraid of heights.
Okay, is it possible to get? What is this picture? They had him on via Zoom or something.
He was on the television,
whatever it is.
So they had a press conference and they had him on the screen. He's in bed. He's not even like sitting at a chair. He's just
in
chilling.
A car. He's in a car, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought he was in bed, but what heights?
I guess the hotel must be, or the venue must be high up.
Oh, come on. The venue must be high up. The guys look.
I was also skeptical of this, but it's been since shown to me that Yoel Romero is legit terrified of heights, like legitimately, deathly afraid of heights.
Well, like they had to go to like a high floor.
I assume that's it, right? Here we have reporting here. Hold on. See if Morocco just published the article.
Working on a screenshot here.
Yeah, this is bizarre. While you're working on that, McGregor telling TMZ the mascot's good. It was a skid and it went it went the way it went and all is well. I spent a lot of time with him afterwards. We hugged it out. Everything is great. It was a skit. It was part of the show. We were backstage. All is well. It was part of the show. It blew up. I recently made my acting debut. I'm not a bad actor.
So the press conference was scheduled for the 99th floor.
Wow.
In Chicago's Willis Tower building.
Oh.
So yeah, I get it.
That kind of changes things a little bit.
But he was in his bed. He was in his bed, by the way.
That's really his bed?
It's embedded in the article by Stephen Morocco for MMAfighting.com. But there's a video of him like visiting another tower. You know how they have like those glass walks where you can like step out onto the glass overlooking the city? He did one of those, but they had to like physically drag him there with his eyes closed. So like the dude is legit scared of heights.
I have a picture here of the face-off. If we go to that, yeah.
I see the bed next Yoel Romero fight.
Shades of Hannah Morale and TJ Dillashaw.
Yeah, great stuff.
100%. Just don't schedule the press conference that high up. It's
99th floor. I can actually get behind.
What should be the main event?
Like 15th.
What should be the main event on Friday? Right. It's history.
For sure.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
I think so too.
In my opinion, it's a no-brainer. I feel like the only reason they're not is because they're at a higher weight class.
No, just go with the bigger fight.
I agree.
But this is also champ versus champ. I feel like that usually could supersede. I personally would have put that fight above, but at the same time, is Yoel Romero not the biggest name out of the four? Is he not the one who, if you put his face on a poster, sell some tickets, people are coming for him?
It's still history.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you just promo the hell out of it as how historical it is, and that's the main focal point.
You could, no doubt, but I mean, Yoel Romero is still the biggest star.
To me, the biggest fight, the most important and biggest fight of the weekend is Pitbull and Pettis.
No doubt.
And number 2 is actually Romero and Nemkov. And ordinarily, I have no problem, and I'm looking forward to it. And I want to see if Romero can get one before it's done. But, I mean, going for a third belt is pretty damn huge. And so with that in mind, shall we make our picks, gentlemen?
We shall. Back to full strength here. Yeah. 4 of us. I will randomize the order.
Do you have the promo from Juliana, or?
Oh, I don't know.
Is the randomizer working?
It is working, and you will be picking first, Frank, followed by Eric. Then I will go, then Ariel.
Oh, wow.
All right. Well, going to go to UFC.
That was a nice job, Pop.
Yeah, you heard that?
Yeah. Going to say yes to the no-no himself, Alessandro Costa, money line.
And what is that?
Minus 260.
Minus 260.
Yes to the no-no. Nice.
Yep.
He going up against Jimmy Flick. Yeah?
That's the one.
That's the one. All right. There you go. There's your first one. Who's second?
That brings us to Eric.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to head to the PFL.
Yeah, let's mix it up. Let's go cross promotion.
And I'm going to go Ante D'Elia.
Wow.
Yeah, fighting Mo the Pirate Green, but I like Ante here.
Are there odds on PFL? What is it?
Certainly are. There certainly are here on DraftKings Sportsbook. Minus 550 for Ante D'Elia.
Minus 550. How about that? All right. What else?
That brings it to me. I'm sorry. I will head back to the UFC. Though I was kind of tempted to head to Bellator with, just make sure we check everything off the box. Vadim Nemkov, not a terrible pick. I will go to the alternate total rounds. I'll go to the main event. I'll go to Marvin Vettori, Jared Cannonier, over 1.5.
Wow.
And that gets us to minus 114, 3 legs down. Just you to go here, Helwani.
By the way, are there any props for the Larissa Pacheco fight?
There are no props available for the Larissa Pacheco.
What were you looking at for Bellator? I feel like we kind of have to. I mean,
there's a couple pretty big favorites here that I like. I don't mind Vadim Nemkov minus 540.
I don't know if I could go against my guy Yoel after all this time.
True.
You know?
Vladimir Goeva, definitely don't take him. Jordan Newman, a light minus 2100. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I'm looking at this Regis Prograis fight. I feel like that's an interesting one. Minus 1600 seems up my alley.
1600 is right up your alley, yeah.
burned on a minus 650 last week.
Yeah.
Take Regis by knockout, minus 500.
No, I don't love those. You know, there's a lot of close calls here. Ultimately, I am. You guys all picked, yeah?
Yeah, we're all in. Minus 114.
Connor, why don't we
Waiting on
recap
you.
it while let's just recap.
Sure,
what it is.
yeah.
A quick recap.
Frank
I
using
wasn't
the
expecting this.
We've only been doing it every week for a year now. Frank wisely used a play on words of the incredibly well-known nickname of Alessandro Costa, No. He supposedly
That
said
was good.
yes. That was really great stuff by him. Rick, main event of PFL 5, took Ante Dalia, minus 550. And then I went to the main event of UFC Vegas, UFC Apex 75. The over 1.5, Marvin Vettori, Jared Cannonier, minus 650. Which brings the Pals to minus 114.
Pals?
The boys.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I can't even.
I'm always worried going after Bellator prelims, but I'm gonna throw caution to the wind here. You know, I've often said anytime Kyle Crutchmer is on a card, you have to go with Crutchmer. Although I do believe he lost his last fight, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct.
Yeah, so I got a little bit of worry as far as that is concerned. I'm gonna go with my good friend, very high on this individual, the pride of Russia, Gatsy Rabadanov. Big fight for him on Friday against Peter Boyst of Netherlands, the Archangel. So I'm gonna go with Gatsy.
Not seeing him here on old draft.
What are you talking about?
I'm on.
Ariel went so deep in the bag no longer exists.
I know who you're talking about. I'm on sportsbook.draftkings.com.
What?
I am not
No, that's
seeing
fucked up.
Godsy's
All
list.
right. So okay, this is what we're doing. You know, that's the parlay. If they don't want to put it, then we'll go 3 deep. You know.
I mean, what are we taking Godsey at? I'm seeing some books minus 1,000, some books minus 750.
This is my pick. Okay.
I mean, we don't even.
I don't want anything else. I don't want to be forced into anything else. This is my pick. Take it or leave it.
Okay. Wait for the line to go up on that.
Why is there not a line on?
pops
Because
up on
it's a
DraftKings?
Bellator prelim.
What if it shows up as a minus 1,200?
Because it's
No, I'm
because
seeing
it's-
him. I
why
see
is
him
there
right
not
here.
a lineup? Godsey Rabadama versus Pieter Bust.
That's
why
my
there's
guy.
no
I'm
lineup.
very high on him. I think he's going to be a huge player. And one day we're going to look back on this moment and be like, wow, I can't believe
I
they
can't
didn't
believe
have
he was
Godsey.
only a minus 1,000.
Dude's, I mean, undefeated in Bellator.
Yep.
Not just one fight. 1, 2, 3, 4 fights.
Well,
Beat
How
Kochi
many times has he been on
Takeda
the show?
on this particular program.
Yeah.
Well, I've talked to him. He just, he can't speak English. It's not my fault. Has fought in the PFL, beat Steven Seiler. I mean, the guy's been around the block.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
I like
mind you
it.
picking
I like the
him.
pick.
I think what I do mind is that odds are not up on DraftKings
So,
Sportsbook.
so
and
if
at
it's
other
not,
books,
if
minus
they don't put it up, then we'll
1,200,
go with 3. And if they
minus
put it up, you get
1,100.
another win for a courtesy of me. You're welcome.
I mean, what if they put it up at minus 1,500?
They're not going to do that. We see what it is right now on Best Fight. It's
No. Best Fight is FightOdds.io.
ugh.
Best Fight is
What is it?
Best
What
Fight
is it there?
dead and gone.
What is it on FightOdds.io? I see it's like
Minus 1,200, minus 11.
No,
minus
I don't see that.
1,200, minus 1,200.
No, I
minus
see it right here.
11.15, minus
Wait,
1,000.
I see. Where is it? I lost it. Minus 750.
This is really
This is awkward.
yeah,
So
this
if he
is-
shows up on DraftKings lower than minus 1,000,
I'm not taking anyone
then
else.
we
I
just
don't
go
want to be
3D.
peer pressured into this. I'm sorry.
You set these rules.
I'm not taking anyone else. I made my pick, and now I'm going to lose. I'm going to have to take someone else that I don't feel. I have my heart set on Gutsy, and then I'm going to take someone else. And even Rick is out of here.
See you, Rick.
All right. What about your picks?
All right.
Why are you being so begrudging about all this?
It's just, it's not up on the book.
I'm looking right at
When it does come up, it's going to be at like minus 1,200.
Okay, if it's minus 1,200, I'll pick someone else.
We've got 1 trillion different fights to pick from.
No, that's the one I want. I'm sorry. The heart wants what the heart wants.
The heart wants. The biggest odds possible.
It's not. I'm looking at a minus 200, 2,000 right now.
If you're going to take that, why don't you just take Larissa Pacheco? Minus 1,600. Good grief.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to be forced into this, okay?
This is insanity. All right. Let's go to UFC Apex 75. We start Teresa Bleda taking on Gabriela Fernandez in the confines of the friendly Apex. I'm actually going to take a shot here on the under 2.5. Bleda is going to be at a pretty big size advantage, 3 inches height, 4 inches reach. I think she'll have a strength advantage too, and she is just aggressive, pushes a pace with that wrestling. And I think that's going to give Gabriela Fernandez fits. We saw last time out, our friend, Jasmine Jasudavicius. She went out there, took her down 4 times, got 11 minutes of control time. And I think Blade is going to look for finishes more than Jasmine did. 5 of her 7 pro fights have ended under the 4.5. And then on the flip side, if it does stay standing, if Fernandez can keep this on the feet, Blade does not have great striking defense. And I think there's a world where she could get TKO'd on the feet. Fernandez, 4 of her last 7 have gone under the 2.5. I'm willing to take the shot at these odds. Next up, Denise Bondar. I took this one at open. I was kind of surprised to see him open as an underdog. It's like minus 120 right now. I still kind of like that. I was on him going into the Malcolm Gordon fight. Obviously, he injured his arm there, and that's really my one concern here is how he's going to look. That is the one fight he has had in the last 30 months. Doesn't tell a ton on his Instagram, but skill for skill, I like this. It really just comes down if he's going to be able to get the wrestling off, and I think he's going to be able to. Carlos Hernandez has been taken down in every one of his UFC fights, including one where he got taken down 5 times. He hasn't really impressed me so far. 2 split decision wins and being finished in the first round. And on top of that, he really doesn't pose too much of a threat to Denise Bondar in terms of finishing him. He has 0 professional KOs. And the guys that he's submitting, all 500 or below fighters. Some of these guys don't even have wins. And then his amateur career as well, he only had 1 knockout, and it was against a guy that was his only amateur fight of his entire life. He just doesn't really have a ton of finishing upside, and I think that's going to be good for Denise Bondar as the fight goes on. I think he'll be able to get the wrestling off and pick up the victory here. Next up, Raoni Barcelos taking on Miles Johns. I'm taking the under 2.5 here. Barcelos, last time out, scary knockout against Umar Nurmagomedov. Now, that doesn't make me believe that I think his chin is shot. We've seen him go the distance almost all of his fights in the UFC. I still think he's a tough out. But the way this lines up, if there is a world where he is 36 at bantamweight and he's 5 months removed from a very serious knockout, Johns can put people out. And on the flip side, I do think Raoni Barcelos is just a better mixed martial artist pretty much wherever this fight goes. And I think he's live for a sub on the ground. At this price, also just willing to take a shot on this one being finished. If you look at their records, Johns, 4 of his 6 in the UFC have not gone to a decision. Raoni Barcelos, while he has been to numerous decisions, 4 of his 9 have gone under the 2.5. I like this one here. We keep it rolling. Banger of a fight. I think this one is going to be really fun. I am taking the under 1.5 and Nicolas Mota, Manuel Torres. Not much to say. Manuel Torres, 14 of his 15 fights have ended in the first round. 12 of those ended in the first 2.5 minutes. And on the flip side, Nicolas Mota, 11 of his 17 have ended in the under 1.5, including both of his UFC fights. We go to the co-main, a weird matchup. Arman Tsarukyan taking on Neto BJJ, Joaquim Silva. I just think this is a mismatch. You're getting Arman Tsarukyan, top 10 lightweight in the world, championship potential, has fought some of the best going against the guy who is 2-3 in his last 5, has fought no ranked opponents over that time. I just don't think this one is going to last long. I understand that Arman Tsarukyan has been to many decisions in his UFC career, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have finishing capabilities. We saw it in the Giagos fight. We saw it in the Joel Alvarez fight. And I was kind of high on Alvarez going into that one. Put them both out under the 1.5, and then you look at Silva. Last 2 losses was finished under the 1.5 by Nasrat and Ricky Glenn. Nasrat, 10 UFC fights. Ricky Glenn, 9 UFC fights. For both of them, their only finishes inside the promotion came by KOing Joaquin Silva. Now he is thoroughly outmatched. I don't think this one goes long. I think Sarukian gets it done. And then over to PFL. I actually haven't played this one yet. We talked about it on No Bets Bar this morning. Pacheco, Leibrock, under 1.5. I mean, these girls coming out. I mean, we know Pacheco last season. I think she had 5 straight first-round knockouts going into that matchup against Kayla Harrison. She obviously has supreme finishing capabilities for the women's division. And then on the flip side, Amber Leibrock, if it's tough to get up in the morning when you're going to bed in satin sheets and Leibrock pulls off the upset like we saw with Brendan Loughnane last week, she, on the other side, has had 4 straight wins in the first round. Her last 6 overall have ended in the first round. And overall, 8 of her 11 fights have ended in the first round. I think this all has the makings of a barn burner for as long as it lasts, and I think someone is going to get finished. And then I just have a multi-weekend, multi-promotion parlay. I took Vadim Nemkov, Arman Sarukian, Ilya Taporia next week in Jacksonville. I like all of those matchups. And those are the picks. UFC Vegas 75, a little bit of Bellator, a little bit of PFL, and that's that.
A lot to like. Good stuff. Go check out the pod as well.
Yeah, No Bets Barred up now.
Appreciate it, gents. We will not talk on Monday,
We will not.
but we will talk on Wednesday. A lot of exciting things to come, so stay tuned for that.